I never thought one secret could change everything. From the outside, my life looked perfect, married young, a cozy home, a husband who trusted me completely. But hidden beneath that picture was a truth so heavy it suffocated me every night. I was carrying a child, and I knew deep inside that it wasn't my husband's. Every smile I gave him, every meal we shared, every small act of love, it all became a silent betrayal. And as the days went on, the truth grew inside me like a ticking bomb, threatening to destroy us both. We married young. My husband, Daniel, was hardworking, loyal, and steady, the kind of man who would rather break his own back than see me suffer. He came from a modest family and believed in old-fashioned values, loyalty, sacrifice, and faithfulness. He worked long hours at the factory, sometimes taking double shifts, just to make sure we had enough to live comfortably. Our home was small but warm. I decorated every corner with flowers, soft fabrics, and little things that made it feel alive. To the outside world, we looked like a perfect young couple, living the American dream in our quiet neighborhood. People admired us, often telling me how lucky I was to have a husband so devoted. But devotion can also mean absence. His long shifts meant nights of silence, evenings where I sat alone staring at the clock, waiting for footsteps that came only after midnight. Loneliness crept in slowly, like water dripping through cracks in the wall. I tried to fight it. I cooked elaborate dinners, wrote him little notes, and convinced myself love was enough. And then, life tested me in ways I wasn't ready for. Daniel's best friend, Marcus, was different. Charismatic, smooth-talking, and full of energy. He often stopped by to check on me when Daniel worked late. At first, it felt harmless, someone to share laughter with, someone who noticed me when my husband was absent. But little by little, those harmless talks turned into something deeper. Attention has a strange way of filling empty spaces. Marcus knew how to make me feel wanted, beautiful, alive. Every compliment, every look, every moment he stayed a little longer than he should, it chipped away at my resolve. And before I knew it, the line between loyalty and betrayal blurred. One night, when loneliness felt unbearable and Marcus was there, temptation won. I told myself it was just a mistake, a one-time weakness. I promised myself I'd bury it and never let it happen again. But life doesn't always give second chances so easily. Weeks later, when the test came back positive, the world tilted beneath my feet. I was pregnant. And I knew it couldn't be Daniel's. The news of the pregnancy should have been joyful. Daniel was overjoyed when I told him. His eyes lit up with a pride I had never seen before. He kissed my forehead and whispered that everything was finally falling into place. He worked harder than ever, taking on even more hours, determined to provide for the little life we were about to welcome. But inside, I crumbled. His happiness was built on a lie I carried every day inside my body. Every ultrasound picture, every baby name discussion, every piece of tiny clothing we bought, I smiled on the outside, but drowned on the inside. Marcus, on the other hand, changed. When I told him about the pregnancy, the charm disappeared. His face hardened, and he said words that sliced through me. "You need to figure this out. Don't drag me into your mess." In that moment, I realized he was never the escape I thought he was. He had used me for excitement, for ego, for fleeting desire, but not for love. The months dragged on like a storm cloud that wouldn't lift. I avoided Daniel's eyes, afraid he might see the truth written on my face. At night, I lay awake listening to his steady breathing beside me, wondering how long before my betrayal surfaced. I became hyper-aware of every detail. Would the baby's features reveal the truth? Would people notice the resemblance to Marcus? Every doctor's visit became a silent trial. When the nurse congratulated us, I felt like a fraud. When Daniel held my hand tightly, I felt unworthy. My life became a stage, and I was performing a role I no longer recognized. The pressure built until every moment felt like the edge of a cliff. I knew this secret couldn't remain buried forever. The night of the birth arrived, and with it came the breaking point. The delivery room was filled with sterile lights, the hum of machines, and Daniel's hand clutching mine as if it were the only thing keeping him grounded. His face was pale with worry, yet glowing with hope. When the baby finally arrived, the room erupted in relief. But as the nurse handed the tiny bundle over, silence fell like a curtain. Daniel's face froze. He looked at the baby, then at me. The child's features were undeniable: eyes, skin tone, the very structure echoed Marcus. Time seemed to stop. My heart thundered in my chest as Daniel's joy drained into confusion, then suspicion, then realization. The weight of months of deceit crashed down in that single moment. He didn't say a word. He simply stared, his hand slipping away from mine. The truth, unspoken, filled the room louder than any scream. That night, the world I had built collapsed. Daniel didn't rage, didn't scream. His silence was far worse. The way he looked at me, as if he no longer recognized the woman he had vowed to love, was a punishment I couldn't bear. After the birth, life became a shadow of what it once was. Daniel provided for the baby, but the warmth in his eyes was gone. Conversations turned into cold exchanges, smiles disappeared, and the trust that once bound us shattered beyond repair. I often replayed the choices that led me here. A moment of weakness had destroyed years of loyalty, love, and sacrifice. Marcus faded from our lives, leaving me to face the wreckage alone. And every day, as I watched Daniel cradle the child he knew wasn't his, I saw the quiet strength of a man wrestling with betrayal yet refusing to abandon innocence. In the end, betrayal doesn't just hurt, it corrodes everything it touches. It changes the way love feels, the way trust lives, the way two people see each other. My story isn't just about infidelity. It's about how lies can grow into storms that no one survives unchanged. And so I leave you with this. What's heavier, carrying the burden of a secret or living with the consequences once it's revealed? Sometimes, the truth comes too late.